All right, good morning, everyone. I thought an interesting way to start the vlog would be by showing you what I could do in the mornings. Just first thing, when I have my cup of coffee, I also add my collagen peptides. These are the ones I use. I recommend using ones that are from bovine skin, not bone, less heavy minerals, less heavy metals. It's just better for you overall. I also have vitamin C and my vitamin D3. But yeah, I just mix the collagen peptides into my coffee. And then once I finish drinking it, I do my first workout for the day. We will come back when I do that. All right, hey everyone. Had my collagen and my coffee. Now I'm back here to do my morning workout. My morning workout is just like a preparatory. It's for health, joints, tendons, just to keep everything working properly. My work schedule right now, my main workout is in the afternoon. So we'll be back again for the actual main workout. But right now, this is just what I do to try to keep healthy. And I do this twice a day. I do it in the morning and in the evening, a little bit before bed, because, like I've said in other videos, arm wrestling is a sport of recovery. So I actually put most of my efforts into trying to recover and be as healthy as possible. So real simple. Now, this isn't going to be the fanciest. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to edit these going forward. So we'll see how it goes. But today I'm just going to kind of do everything just raw, show you guys pretty much what I do, try to cut out like the time between exercises. But this way you guys have an idea of exactly what I do on a daily basis. So my morning is side pressure, like inner elbow health and a little bit of wrist. So like I've shown in other videos, I just take this because it's an immovable object. It has no give. It has no stretch to it at all. And I'm just focusing on, again, my tendons. So I'm going to do a 30-second hold here. And I'm putting about 30 to 40% effort or pressure into this of what would be maximal. So I'm just going to hold it for 20 to 30 seconds. Nothing's hurt right now. So, um, I just kind of do it based on feel and what feels good. And I like to alternate between this like inner locked position and kind of a break on, because it feels like it just targets different areas in the elbow. When I kind of bring it in here, it feels kind of like a little bit more holistic. And I feel it like deeper down through here. And then when I kind of come out here, I feel it more like just under that pronator muscle, which is where I really get sore. And also when you pull it out here, it helps with that bicep tendon that runs along your brachialis. So it helps a lot. I'm going to switch to the other side. And now this arm is the one that's really sore right now. And again, 30, 40% effort is about all you need. Because our main goal is really just to try to get the body to send blood, fluids into the area. And we want to realign our tendon fibers because they're like in a bundle, like a twisted bundle. And when you have any kind of explosive or jerky movements, like what we do in arm wrestling, it actually disaligns the tendon fibers of that bundle. And for maximum strength, you want them to be lined up in that twisted formation. So holding in that static position against a force that's not going to move, not have any stretch, like using a band. You can if it's a really heavy band and you're really good at keeping steady, but it's best to use a chain or a rope or some kind of apparatus like I have. So that way it really pulls all those tendons back into alignment and make sure they're as strong as possible. So that way when you do train, you're not going to further injure anything and you'll just help with the overall, breaking down by small little bits so that way it can heal back stronger. So I'm going to do 3 more sets of this for 4 sets total, and then we will go into the next exercise. So I'll bring you guys back for that one. All right, everyone, welcome back. So this weekend was the Montana Arm Bender hopefully you guys catched it. The link for the pay-per-view is still up. So many great matches. Dakota Shipton versus Ryan Johnson was one of the most painful grinders I have ever seen. And then later, the Sanders versus Adam match was another just long, deep hook battle that I don't think I've ever seen two people arm wrestle that long in my life, at least not in person. Maybe I've seen Carolina Peterson from Sweden. Some of her matches were probably longer, but this was just a deep, grueling inside hook battle. It's probably one of the best arm wrestling matches I've ever seen, period. Right up there with Italian Dave Chafee. So definitely go check it out, because a lot of you guys wrote off Adam. I saw it down in the comments. You didn't think he had what it takes, but he ended up pulling off the win. This is one you're not going to want to miss. Pay-per-view is only $6. And I'll try to put a link in the description if I remember. But if not, it'll be on my Facebook, and I'm sure it's on multiple of my other YouTube videos. But yeah, I should put it back down there below. Anyway, the next exercise is really, really super important. We do so much internal rotation in arm wrestling. I think it's important to do some kind of external rotation every single day. Now, you don't have to go heavy on this. The rotator cuff, again, tendon, you don't need to do heavy weights to get a lot of good progress on it. It's pretty simple. I just take a light band. This is just like the 20 or 30 pound band. I just like to put it over the back of my hand, come out here, and then just externally rotate, just kind of the opposite motion of what we do in arm wrestling. Now, when it's injured, I'll kind of do the same thing I do with the chain, where I'll just pull it out and hold. If I feel like there's like an injury or a pain in there, and I'll just hold it against an immovable object. But just for maintenance, I like just doing light reps. I don't really count. Again, it's kind of like a thing where I try to get that burn. And then once I feel that burn, I just try to push through until it starts feeling good, until the burn goes away. So sometimes it's like 20 reps, sometimes it's 30 reps, sometimes it's 50 reps. There's no count on it. Again, it's just kind of by feel, just to try to keep everything healthy. Switch over here to the other side. But yeah, it's really great, really important. You need to keep your shoulders healthy, because all of your arm wrestling forces do go through your shoulder as well. So one of the most important things you can do, for sure. Now, the other thing I like to do, hopefully this will catch on the video. I'll have to bring my other camera down maybe to get a wider angle, but um, again, just over the back of the hand, but this time kind of like stand out, get a little bit of tension, and then I'm just pulling back. Pretty simple, but you'll see it hits the shoulder in a completely different way. Feels really good. Just another really good way to keep your shoulders healthy. This I also do for both of these 4 total sets. So I'm going to do 3 more after this one. But yeah, it's just really about getting, blood and fluids into the area, clear out any lactic acid, just make everything feel good. So you don't really have to do a set number of reps. So I don't think there's a right answer. You just try to find the pain and work through it. So yeah, pretty simple. For my morning routine, that's all I do. The side pressure based overcoming isometrics, and then just shoulder health. We'll be back in the afternoon to do the main training. And I don't know, tonight I probably won't show the nighttime routine. That's just kind of the same thing as this morning, except for it's more back pressure based through the rise, just to try to hit those tendons and keep them healthy. Let me know down below if you guys want to see that routine as well. And I'll post it on the next days. I'm just trying to figure out how the schedule goes, because if I do the morning and the afternoon training, then I'll be able to get it out same day. So Monday through Sunday, I'll be able to do all my training. But if I shoot the evening training as well, then it'll be delayed by 1 day. So, you guys will have to let me know what you want to what you want to see, or if you just want to see that as a short, I can film that and upload it as a short. So that way you kind of guys know what's going on. But the morning and the evening routine is always the same. The only time I change it up is if something's hurt, then I'll either add a new movement to try to target what's hurt, or I'll just change it again from like either reps to a static hold again. I'll do longer static holds, or as I'm getting closer to a competition, a tournament or a super match, I'll usually switch them or shorten them. So I'll go from 30-second holds, 20-second holds, down to 10-second holds, as long as everything's healthy, because I'm focusing on now strength and not so much on recovery. I'm trying to peak for training. But anyway, yeah, we will be back again for the afternoon training. I'll probably show what I do for breakfast as well. All right, guys. So we're back again for breakfast. Super simple. Um, you know, I'm not going to try to do anything I don't normally do. I'm just going to show you guys what I do for real. And a lot of how I eat is like how I train out of convenience. I'm just going to do 4 scrambled eggs, in a bag of this like 90-second instant, long grain white rice. Real simple. I add light salt to all my meals. This is a mixture of sodium and potassium. And it's an arm wrestler. It's really important to have your potassium high, so that way you don't get as bad of pumps when you're on the table, and you'll just perform better in the gym. I also, with breakfast, have magnesium and fish oil. I take fish oil with every meal because, one, it helps with keeping your blood nice and thin. It also helps with insulin sensitivity, and it helps with making your joints feel better and improving the quality of the lining of the tendon cells when they repair. So fish oil is a really important supplement also for arm wrestlers. Again, I just wanted to show you what I was eating here. Nothing fancy, just super simple stuff. And yeah, that's how I do it. So I'll catch you guys for either the next meal or training, whichever ends up coming first based on my schedule. All right, guys. So I just wanted to show you what I did pre-workout here. On most days, I just drink a Monster as a pre-workout, but on tough days or days where I have a really hard or heavy training session, I like to take this gorilla mode. I find it's pretty good. It's pretty easy on the stomach, pretty heavy. Stimulant for me, I'm really sensitive to stimulants, so it could be good for you, but it does have a really good effect and definitely gets me motivated. So you might want to try it out if you like pre-workouts. But again, most days I just like to take just a drink of Monster before. And now while I'm working out, I do a little cocktail. Intra has carbs, amino acids, and some other stuff. So I just do 1 scoop of that, and then creatine. Also just 1 scoop, and then taurine. This helps with your mitochondria. It helps give you more energy. Also helps with fluid management. So I find that you don't get too overpumped, which again with arm wrestling is really important. And again, just 1 scoop, nothing crazy. Yeah, that's all I do. So I'll get this shaken up, and then we'll get into the workout. All right, here we are, guys. We are at the main training session of the day. Got my intro workout drink that we made here a little bit ago. Monday is going to be my recovery and heavy pressing day. Usually I do table practice every Saturday. So Sunday and Monday are geared more towards making sure I'm prepared to lift heavy for the rest of the week. But I also do some of my heavy pressing on this day. It's just where it fits well into the schedule. And I also think that pressing, so like today is going to just be a standard bench press. And then later in the week, I have a JM press that I do with a lighter weight and higher volume. I think pressing is important because we do a lot of pulling in arm wrestling, and you always want to be working in the opposite direction as well to make sure you stay balanced. And I do think that shoulder and chest strength is really important, and it'll help your side pressure because your chest and shoulder is what determines a lot of your internal rotation, and your ability to keep your arm locked, because your chest's whole purpose is to close your arms together. And they do assist in pressing with your tricep and shoulder, but their main function is to bring your arm in. So they along with your lats and shoulders, help you to maintain your lock, which is where your side pressure comes from. Anyway, what we're going to do today, we already did our band routine this morning, got everything healthy. our overcoming ISOs. So I feel pretty good, feel pretty prepped and primed. I had some kind of exhibition super matches on Saturday and at the arm bender, and then did some, you know, table pulling afterwards for the after pulls. And I feel pretty good though, for the most part. I didn't go too crazy. I really want to get back to training. You know, I really want to do well at the Miles City Arm Brawl. If the same names show up that show up every year, I have a lot of people on my hit list that I want to beat, and I know I need to be as strong as possible to beat them. So we're going to start off today with bench press. We're going to go usually pretty heavy on these days. If you saw my prior video, this is where, you know, I'll probably be doing like 5 sets of 3. Since I did pull on Saturday, I probably won't go at my absolute heaviest. I probably won't go above 245 or 255 because those are just usually weights I can stay at, and I know I won't over push it and it won't affect the rest of my week. And then next week, I'll probably start pushing the numbers back up on bench press so that way we can continue to get stronger through the shoulders and chest, and put on some more quality weight. I'm waking up right now about 214. And I'm trying to fill out the 220 class, which means that I probably need to be more like 224, just that way I can have like an easy cut, you know, be a little bit heavier, just not eat and do a simple water cut the night before, show up, weigh in, be good to go, without any performance loss and still truly filling out the weight class. Uh, so that's kind of my goal right now, is to finish, you know, gaining that last 10 pounds. So it's necessary to have those in. I also do back today. So usually rows or pull downs. Again, just trying to keep my upper body as strong as possible as a whole and gain quality, useful mass, not just weight. As one of our favorite arm wrestlers, Ernie, says, you know, quality, my friend. That's what we're going after here. And then after we do chest and back, I also do hand training. I like to train the hand every single day because I feel like, you know, this area, this strength here, recovers extraordinarily fast. Really the only days, well, table practice on Saturday, so of course I train that. Sunday is going to be the only day that I don't train it, so the only full day off. There's a little bit of, you could say secondary, because obviously I'm still gripping onto things, but nothing intense. But today is also the long day, so it's more aimed towards recovery. It's going to be an isometric. It's going to be a 20 to 30 second hold. And I'm going to do a cup variation and then a finger variation. Um, and then, yeah, that'll probably be it for the training session today. Like I said, it's not too much. Like, I don't do crazy stuff. I can get this workout done in like 45 minutes or less. Tonight, we're going to do another recovery routine. And one thing I didn't mention too is I really like the rice bucket. I think it helps with recovery. So I always end my nights with the rice bucket as well. So yeah, let's get into this training session. Okay, so for bench press, what I like to do is a set of 30 with the bar, just to start the warm up. And then I do 2 sets of 8 with 135. And then I'll probably go to like 225 and see how that feels. And then either decide if I'm going to go up to like 245, 255, or I might just stick there. It really just matters how my wrists and elbow feels after Saturday. I ate a lot and I rested a lot, so it shouldn't be too bad. So let's get this first kind of warm up out of the way. And then I'll bring you guys back when I get to the heavier weight set. All right, guys. So 255 felt like the right call on bench press. Excuse me. I'm going to do my last set here, so you guys can see. Basically, I just take I put my edge of my thumb on the knurling, and then I just stretch out, and that's how I get my grip distance. So it's kind of a narrower grip than most do, mainly because trying to focus on the triceps. I think that's a little bit more, and shoulders. I think that's a little bit more advantageous for arm wrestling as a whole than taking a wider grip. Also, when I do JM press, I do a very narrow grip, so that's almost completely triceps and shoulders. But yeah, let's get this last set done so we can move into the next exercise. Like I said, I'm not trying to push it this week, so just keeping it nice and light, nice and easy. We'll start pushing the numbers up next week. All right, guys, finished with the bench press. Now we're just going to do some back. Again, I just think it's an important part of being well-rounded is to be strong everywhere. I think that when you are close to equal in strength, having more general strength will lead to you getting victory because you'll be able to fight harder from different spots than your opponent. And also, again, if you're trying to add muscle mass, the back is the number one place you're probably going to get it, especially in the upper body, if you're really trying to maximize your arm wrestling. So yeah, bench and some kind of back pull down rowing exercise are my bread and butter for building muscle. And that's all I really do. In addition, you'll see the rest of the week, I just do pure arm wrestling. So all the size I built and I'm building is just from doing, uh, chest and back exercise. So super simple. I'll knock out a warm up here, a warm up here. I usually warm up. It's about 100 or 110 pounds. I forget how heavy my trolley is. I don't really care. I usually just count the plate weight, and the plate weight that's on it right now is 90 pounds. So I usually warm up with this, and then I'll go up from there. We'll see where we end today. For the back, I usually like to do like 4 sets of 12. So it's different than all my other exercises. I just don't think it's as important to push heavy and fatigue the central nervous system for this movement as it is for others. So let's get into it. And this week I'm going to be doing underhanded as my variation. A little surprising on bench press, my wrist actually felt pretty okay. But for some reason on this exercise, I'm feeling a little fatigued in my wrists, like some soreness. So I must have been using a lot of finger pressure. But anyway, that's the warm up done. So once I get to my final weight and my final set, I'll bring you guys back so we can see what that looks like. Okay, so little change up because my wrist was bothering me a little bit. I started going up, and it was kind of just feeling a little bit of a naggle in there. I switched to overhand, even though I did that in my last block. I'll probably try to go back to underhand again next week. And I'm only going up to 200 pounds in plate weight, which should be like either 210 or 215 in real weight. I'm not going to go heavier than that for now, just because, again, there's a little bit of bother in there. For some reason, this is triggering, which is weird because this usually never does. Nothing bad. Just I'm trying to avoid any excess fatigue, so that way, um, when my wrist and main cup training day comes, I'll be able to work it hard and make some progress for my upcoming matches. Um, which we'll talk about in probably a separate video, not the training series here. I'll probably make a separate video on the 2 events that I'm training for right now. But anyway, let's get this last set done and move on to our first arm wrestling exercise, which is going to be a cup long hold. So here we go. All right, all done with that. I'll bring you guys back for the next exercise, which is going to be on the table. Okay, guys. So we're going to be moving on to this first arm wrestling specific exercise. It's going to be a cupped long hold. Again, today's more recovery focused, like we're pushing it a little bit, but not super hard. Just to make sure we're prepared for the rest of the week. Yeah, so the way that I set this up is I have my pulley on its highest setting. If you can get it even higher, that's better. The angle will be better. For this one, I'm going to use this handle today. I believe it's a 2.5-inch roller. And I like to set the L on the bottom portion, so that way it challenges the pinky a little bit more. And yeah, so this first one's just going to be a warm up, but all I do is I keep my hand as cupped as possible. And I try to have my hand in the position. So like today I'm going to train it with a cap. So I have my finger over my thumb as if I'm actually arm wrestling that way. And I'm going to get into my starting position like I like to do for every exercise on the table, train as specific as possible. Then I'm just going to pull it and hold that hook just like I would in a match. The goal again is 20 to 30 seconds. So today's not necessarily about weight. Like right now for this first one, all I have on there is 45 pounds because of Saturday. That already feels pretty good. Normally we would work up to something north of 100, like 95 to 110, 115. But we'll see how that feels today. But yeah, this is already feeling pretty good. I had to use a lot of hand, a lot of cup on Saturday. All right, next hand. Same thing, just keeping my wrist completely cupped in as much as possible, trying to maintain my form. It's kind of hard to talk and do this. You'll see I'll be kind of out of breath probably because I try to move through this pretty quickly. I try to take short rests. Ideally, like on my heavier days, like tomorrow, you'll see I'm going to take longer breaks, like 2-3 minutes to maximize strength. But for days like today where it's more recovery, more volume based, then I focus more just on moving through it quickly. Okay, guys. So for this one, I ended up working up to 90, and that felt good. And I forgot to mention that I do 4 sets of this, so 4 isometrics. The first set, I got like 27 seconds, and then and I try to leave some time. Like I feel like I stop when it's like a 6, 7 out of 10 effort. Like if it's going to break back, like if I have like another 4, 5, 6 seconds, I cut it there. I push it harder on other days, but today, again, it's more about recovery and preparing the body for the week. This will be the last set. Yeah, I think the first one I did 27 seconds and then like 22 and then 18. So we'll see how long I get. I took a little bit of a longer break, so hopefully I can get more than 18. But we'll see. My wrist definitely took a little bit of a beating. This weekend more than it felt like it did before training. So yeah, let's see where we end up on this. Yeah, see, that starts feeling heavy fast. Yeah, so I think that was about 23 seconds. Probably got a little bit of a buff from a little bit of a longer rest, and then now that the camera's recording, definitely sucked it up a little bit. Let's see what we're doing on the right. The right's definitely more wrecked. A couple less seconds on each lift so far for the right. Um, but yeah. Okay, here we go. yeah, I felt like my cup was slowly kind of opening up there on the right hand, which is nothing nothing new. It's no secret that I'm left hand dominant, but usually my right hand keeps up pretty well with my left. Um, and surprisingly, even though I am left-handed, my rise and pronation is actually better on my right. Um, are any of you guys like that? Is your non-dominant arm stronger in some areas than your dominant arm? I'd love to know. Let me know down below. I just think it's weird. It's weird how arm wrestling works. Like sometimes you can be strong in certain areas and it doesn't actually show on the table, between how your right and left arm works. It's one of the main reasons why, fallen so in love with arm wrestling is just because you learn something new all the time. It doesn't really fully make sense. You just do your best and try to learn from your mistakes and continuously get better, and then hope that it shows up on the table. So yeah, now that we're done with this, let's move into our finger-based exercise, and then that'll be it for today. Okay, so here we are into the last exercise of the day. This exercise is kind of brutal, but I think it's really helpful. So it's kind of the Todd Hutchins-esque or Bogdan-esque training implement. I just took a 2x4 and put some tree tie downs into it. And yeah, we're going to use this to train finger pressure. Right now, there's only 25 pounds on that. It's what I normally do to start warming up. But after the way this workout's been going, everything's feeling a little bit heavier than expected. I'm not too sure how this is going to feel. Because this is one of those exercises where it can very quickly overwhelm you, just weight by weight. So basically what I'm doing is, if you see here, hopefully that shows up in the video, but I'm having my fingers on there like this. I have my thumb across the back because this is meant, again, to strengthen your fingertips and your fingertip pressure. So you don't want to have your hand flat against it. Now, if you're doing side pressure from the side of the table, that's different because then you're simulating, creating that shelf across the top of someone's hand. But for this specific situation, it's kind of like an anti-top roll, kind of twitch reaction type movement. So yeah, let's see how it feels today. Yeah, that's pretty hard. Yeah, definitely the weekend took a little bit more out of me than I was expecting. And if you do make one of these, one of the important things to make it much more difficult, it's going to reduce the numbers that you lift, but you'll be thankful for that in the long run. But see how they converge like a triangle? And that's how you want them to go. Don't put a bar across the top like you see on some wrist wrenches. This is going to make it much more difficult, which means you can get your goals with lower numbers, which usually means that there's less of a chance of catastrophic failure. Like I said, there's only 25 pounds plus whatever the loading pin weighs, like 2 or 2.2 pounds, something. I think it's a 1 kilo loading pin, but either way, yeah, pretty hard. This is normally like a warm up, but today it's feeling like, like where we need to be. So yeah, let's see how this set goes. Oh yeah, see, I almost lost that, and I don't really want to risk my wrist popping open today. Um, you know, not here to show off or be glamorous like some true YouTube content creators that make everything look easy or show off big weights. I'm trying to humble myself and make everything very transparent. Like I said, this is only 25 pounds. Um, some days the strength is there, some days it's not. Today it's just one of those days where it's not. But I'm really thankful for bringing this exercise into my routine because I do feel a definite difference in terms of my hand, especially again on the left. It's just a little bit more coordinated, so it finds a little bit of a better position, and I think I get a little bit more bite onto the plank or the 2x4, whatever you want to call it. Whereas something just feels a little bit off or not right on my right, like especially with my middle finger, like I'm just not finding the same placement or spot. So if maybe one of you guys has the same issue and overcame it or knows what might be going on there, let me know. Also, just because it is messing with me a little bit, I'm going to try adding a towel, see if that helps a little bit. Because maybe I'm just being a baby. But yeah, we'll see. I want to do another set here with you guys just to see how it's feeling. If this one still feels pretty hard, I might just call it on this one today, just because, again, I don't want to overtrain it or push it. And I want to be recovered for when I train it hard, or when I'm supposed to be training it hard later this week and not necessarily today. So let me give this a go with a towel and see how it feels. Yeah, that's definitely helping, but I'm already shaking. This is what happens when you pull with Easton McCormick, guys. Yeah, that definitely helped a little bit, but yeah, I don't want to over push it. So after I do this one here on the right, I think I'm just going to call it on this one today. Keep it smart. I'll definitely, my heavy day for this is going to be Wednesday. So I'll definitely be recovered by then, especially after the recovery routine we do tonight, which I'll show you after this. Well, for me, it'll be 6 hours later, but for you guys, it'll be in just a minute. But anyway, let's do this here on the right and see how it goes. Oh yeah, I can't even write it down on the right. Yeah, no, I'm not going to push it. It's just not there today. You know, that's an important thing where I used to just find a way to train through. I'd either change up the exercise or, you know, just try to battle through it, fight through it. But I was getting injured and injured and injured. And after just fighting injuries for like the last year, I'm just not going to do it because nothing held me back or will hold anyone back more than getting injured and not being able to train. So yeah, we're going to call it there on this exercise for today, but that's a good testament to show just how effective this exercise is and how much it's going to help with, again, because as soon as you feel someone hitting into your fingers, you know, your fingers are going to know to just really push through, rotate through. And I think it's a key in what's helping Todd Hutchings to defeat top rollers, you know, with his famous Todd rule. So hopefully we can find our own variation of that helps and assists. Even though I love pulling top rollers, I actually seem to do much better against them. So yeah, anyways, that's going to take it for this. I'll show you guys my post-workout meal, and then we'll get into the final training session of the night. Okay, guys, just real quick, showing you what I'm having here. I'm just some leftover ribeye and potatoes from the other night because, like I said earlier, a lot of what I do is convenience based, and if there's leftovers, I'm gonna eat them. And it just happens to be kind of the perfect thing to eat post workout. So again, like I said, I'll catch you guys back later when we do the night routine. All right, guys. So here we are for the final session of the day. Just two things I do. Again, this is mostly just to stay healthy. So we're going to do my overcoming ISOs. And then we're going to pull out the rice bucket. And just based off of what I'm feeling tonight, I think we're going to do some pronation work and supination work in the rice bucket. I don't think we're going to do gripping tonight. Again, just because of the earlier segment with fingers and stuff. I think we're just going to focus pronation and supination. But yeah, the overcoming ISO I do at nighttime is for back pressure rise. Those get tested a lot with the way that I pull. So I'm always needing to work on recovering them. And of course, also I like to pull as hard as possible and train as hard as possible. So this is necessary for me to get through my week. So it's pretty simple. This is how it goes. Do it every night. Just taking a strap in the riser position and pulling into the chain. Hopefully you can see it in the video. But yeah, there's just a chain and I'm standing on the chain and I'm just pulling into it. Again, about 30 to 40% effort for about 20 to 30 seconds. And yeah, just easing into it and just holding that tension feels pretty good. You don't need to use a lot of weight. The weight's mainly just so you can ease into the tension. You're not just slamming into the chain right away. Now, switch to the other side. My right is pretty jacked, like I said earlier. So we'll see how it feels. Oh yeah, definitely feeling it in there. But that's good. Once I get through this, it should feel a lot better. Just pulling into that chain, trying to keep it nice and tight. And we're good. So yeah, that's basically the overtime and ISO. I know the angles aren't perfect for the camera tonight, but I'll try to find better ones for the future that catches a little bit more of what we're doing, especially if it wasn't too clear. But like I said, it's just chain. So I just stand on it to get the tension. I'm going to do 3 more sets of this, and then we'll move on to the last exercise. Okay, guys. Last exercise of the night. Um, this one, shout out to the pinned unfiltered channel, Otto, Golden Hands. Goes by so many aliases. I actually got this from him. I normally have a uh, rice kind of squeezing routine that I do, and I'll probably show that another night. Um, but tonight, I just want to focus on pronation and supination. So I got this from his channel, pretty good channel. Definitely go check it out. Lots of good info on there. Now for this exercise, you can control the difficulty by the size of the plate that you use. So I start with the 5-pound plate, which is pretty easy, but just gets the blood flowing. Gets everything feeling good. And then for the next 3 sets, I switch to a 10-pound plate. You can see it's bigger, so more surface area. Makes it more difficult to turn. But all you do is you stick it in the rice, and then I like to start with the horizontal, and then just like you're pronating, like to pronate it around, and you're just twisting. So start with pronation, and this just feels really, really, really good, especially as you get deeper and deeper into there. Yeah, it just works through all that tightness, makes it feel so much better. Really glad I found this. I would have never probably thought to do it on my own. Um, it really helps. And then supination, you're essentially just changing directions. For supination, I feel like it's easier if you start with the plate vertically rather than horizontally. And you're just grabbing it and again, twisting, twisting, twisting. Yeah, it just feels really, really good to work through. And again, just like everything else, it doesn't have to be a prescribed number of, sets and reps. I like to do 4 sets, just feels like a good number. And it's based off of Keith Barr's research for the ISOs. And I just keep 4 sets of this just to keep it symmetrical, I guess, even. So that's really the only reason why I'm going to do 4 sets here. Nothing complicated about it. I don't count the reps. Again, I just go by feel. I just do it until it starts to feel good. So I'll switch arms here, start horizontally, and work that pronation. Yeah, this is really great. It feels insanely good. You can also make it more difficult by pushing it deeper into the rice, obviously. So, you have ways to progress if you want to. I don't know that this is something that I would look at as a, strength or progression type movement, but I'm sure there could be uses for people in different styles. For me, I'm just going to keep this as like a rehab type exercise. So just doing it mainly to make everything feel better. Switch to supination now. And then, yeah, we just basically churn this rice till everything feels good. Like I said, after this one, I'm going to switch out from the little 5-pound plate to the big 10-pound plate. And that makes it quite a bit more difficult. You don't have to be doing 30, 40, 50 reps. I feel like it's good just to get a good grip, make sure you're working where you're intending, and just move nice and steadily. You don't have to rush through it. Do 500 reps. It's more about the time under tension on this one. And again, you'll kind of feel like things will start burning, but then if you just kind of keep going past that burning point, it'll start feeling really good and you'll feel everything relax and release. So I really like this. Recommend you give it a try. And again, that's shout out the Pinned X Unfiltered YouTube channel. That's where I got it from. I'm not sure if it's his invention or he got it from somewhere else, but that's where I got it, and it's been great. Um, before I do go. For the nighttime, so after I do this, I will make a big, tall, uh, 24-ounce shaker cup of chocolate milk, Fairlife milk. I don't like lactose. And then I will add 9 grams of glycine. And then I take melatonin, 20 milligrams. Then I take, I think it's 1200 milligrams of NAC. I take more magnesium and fish oil just to end the day good. And of course, right now I'm back on ashwagandha. I took my break off of it. Like I said, it's important to cycle the ashwagandha, like 4 weeks on, 4 weeks off, 4 weeks on, 2 weeks off, whatever. Just, take a decent break, at least 2 weeks off from it. Once you notice that you kind of feel very indifferent to things, or if you stop caring, or if your passion decreases, or you start seeing like, oh, I don't feel like working out or whatever, that could actually just be taking the ashwagandha for too long and it lowering your stress and anxiety so much that you actually don't have enough to function or perform properly. So it can actually be detrimental. But if you use it properly and you cycle it, it will always be a beneficial part of your recovery stack. I will catch you guys next time.